Hi, it's Lori. Thanks for joining me for another Cricut Explore tutorial. Today I have some fun birthday shaker cards. I don't know about you, but I always am in need of birthday cards. I created these two birthday cards in Cricut Design Space using the same file, but just changing out the papers made them look like totally different cards. I made a boy version and a girl version. To create these two cards, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock, the Cricut pen, a piece of acetate or some kind of packaging plastic material that's just large enough to fit over those balloon cutouts, an A2 size card base, and some adhesive. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is go to Insert Shapes. Here we're going to grab a square. Now let's go to Insert Images. And let's search for a balloon. And I'm just going to grab this first one right here. This one is from the first few years, but you can use any balloon you like. So we'll grab that. And then we will search for a banner. And again, you can use any banner you like. I'm going to use this one. It is by Bits and Pieces. It's also part of the subscription. And insert. Okay, while we have the banner right here, let's go ahead and right click and ungroup. Now let's grab that yellow layer and just delete it. We really just want this part. I'm just going to make that smaller and set it aside for right now. Let's grab our balloon, go over to the layers panel, and we're going to duplicate that 2 times so that we have a total of 3 balloons. Again, as I've stated in previous videos, I like to keep the layers panel and the edit panel viewable at the same time. So I'm going to peel that edit panel down and put it right there. Let's click on our square now and go over in the layers panel, click on the square, and let's change that to white. Let's go over to the edit panel, unlock keep proportions, and let's change the size, the width, to 4.00 and the height to 5.5. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we're going to place our balloons on our card kind of the way we want them to sit, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. All balloons aren't the same size, so I kind of like that they're not. And we'll move this one kind of over there. And you can arrange these any way you want. Make them as big as you want. Put them anywhere on the page that you want. But that looks pretty good to me. And I'm going to right click on the first balloon and ungroup. Click the second balloon, right click, ungroup. And the third balloon, and if you don't want to right click, there's also ungroup option over here in the layers panel. But I'm a right clicker, so I'm going to do it that way. Okay, so now that we have the balloons ungrouped, we're going to select the first green balloon, hold our shift key, select the second one and the third one. Look over in the layers panel and make sure you just have the green balloons selected. And for right now, we are going to weld those together. And we're going to move them aside. Now we're going to do the same thing with the shadow layer. Select, 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 holding the shift key, and weld. Let's move those aside. And now we're going to come back to these balloons and arrange them back on the card base the way we had them set up. That looks about right, but we can select both of those, hit align, and center horizontally. Now we know those are perfectly centered, and while they are, we are going to slice. Perfect. Let's move that out of the way. Let's go back to our shadow layer, click on it, right click, move to front, and now we want to try to line that up as best we can. And I'm going to, again, select both of those, align, center horizontally. And Now we want these balloons to write. We are not going to cut those. So let's go over to the layers panel, select those 3 welded balloons, and let's change that to write. Okay, we can see they're not real centered, but that's okay. We can move them at this point. That looks great. All right, now let's select everything again, right click and attach. And again, if you don't want to right click when you have everything selected, you can click attach over here in the layers panel. So we've got this piece going. Now, these we no longer need, so we can delete that. I am going to make this card in blue. So I'm going to go over here in the layers panel, and I'm going to select that card base, and I'm going to change it to this blueberry color, just so that we keep an idea of what our card is going to look like. Now we need to go back to Insert Shapes and grab another square. We're going to select that square, go over to the Edit panel, unlock Key Proportions, and we're going to change this one to 4.25 wide by 5.5. Standard A2 size card. I'm going to select it in the layers panel, and I'm going to change this to yellow. This is going to be the color of my card. I'm going to select this, right click, move backward. So this is going to fit over this, just like that. Now what I'm going to do, and you can skip this step and use foam tape if you want, but I like to just cut out a piece in Fun Foam. So I'm going to take this blue layer and I'm just going to duplicate it. And I'm going to cut it once in Cardstock, once in Fun Foam. So since one of these is going to be in Fun Foam, I want the Cricut Explorer to know that it needs to stop so that I can change materials. So I need to change the color of one of these. So I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to change the color of this one to, some other random color. I'll just do light blue. So the light blue is going to be my Fun Foam. This is going to be my Cardstock. This is going to be my base layer. So when I line them up, this is how it's going to go together. All right, now I want to take my banner, and I'm going to go over to the Sync tab, and I'm going to take the Sync tab where the banner is, and I'm going to pull that up to the yellow layer. I want my banner to be the same color as the yellow base layer. Now I'm going to go to Arrange, move to Front. So that's going to set just like this. I want to look at the Edit panel while the banner is selected and make sure that that is not wider than my card, and it is. So let's change this to 4.25 wide, and we'll leave the key proportions locked. Okay. Now here you have two choices. You can just grab a text and type in your greeting right here, or you can do what I'm going to do, which is Insert Image. And I'm going to type in happy birthday. And there are tons of happy birthday greetings in here. You can pick any of these that you want. I happen to like this one right here. I've used it on a previous card. This one is by Tomcat Studio. But again, there are tons of them that are. If you want to use something in the subscription, you can pick one of those, or you could just use text and write it yourself. But I'm going to grab this one. And this comes in really big. So I'm going to make it small so it'll fit on my card. That looks like about like that. So while it's still selected, I'm going to go over to the Layers panel, and I'm going to weld this together. And I'm only doing that so that it becomes just one layer. And by doing that, now I can select it and change it to write without having to go in and change every letter. Now this looks kind of bold and blurry. It's really not going to be. So I'm going to select both of those. I'm going to hit align, and I'm going to center. So that is perfectly the way I want it. Now what we have to do again is attach that writing to that tag. So while they're both still selected, the banner and the writing, make sure in your layers panel, let's click attach. Okay, so that's what our card's going to look like. I just noticed over here in the fun foam layer, we still have the writing turned on. We don't need that writing on the fun foam. That's just going to be a cushion for our shaker card. So let's turn that layer off on the fun foam. And now we're ready to cut. So let's hit go. Let's see what we've got here. We've got, this is our blue cardstock layer. It's going to be cut and write. Looks great. I'm actually going to put it over here. I always use that left corner of my mat and it gets the most use. Here we have just a layer that's going to cut. This is our fun foam, and I'm going to put that one down here. And here's our yellow layer. And just to save paper, I'm going to rotate this. If you hold your shift key, it'll lock into 45-degree increments. So I'm just going to put that right there. That looks great. So let's hit go. Okay, when you go through these layers, the last one that you're on is the first one it's going to start with. So if you wanted to go back to the blue layer, we can start there. So I'll just click on the blue so that we can go in order here. So the first is our blue cardstock layer. Okay, so I've loaded my blue cardstock layer. I'm going to load the paper. And it's going to tell me to put the silver metallic pen into accessory A. So here we go. Put your finger on the bottom, click the pen in until it clicks, and close, and hit go. Okay, so now we're ready for our fun foam. Again, my fun foam is down in the lower right corner. So I'm going to put it on fun foam, or put my fun foam on the mat. Load. I'm going to remove my pen. Going to change the dial to custom. And I'm going to look for fun foam in the custom settings. And here is craft foam. You can also use the Cricut distressed foam for this, which has its own setting. But I'm going to use the craft foam setting, and I'm going to hit go. Okay, meet me in my craft room and we'll put this together. And here you have the completed shaker card. Don't forget, you can change the look of this card by simply changing out the papers. Here is a boy version and a girl version. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, you can visit me on my blog at loriesstory.com. Thanks for watching.